Good morning, everyone. We, the students of group number 6, are here to give the presentation on the case study of Satyam scandal. So, the presentation is all about background, the Satyam scandal, Raju's confession letter, the culprit, how this scandal was done, aftermath of Satyam scandal, the merger of Tech Mahindra and Satyam Computers, the corporate governance, and the conclusion. Now, Palak will tell us about the background of Satyam Computers. Over to you, Palak.
Thank you, Shishmita. About the background, Satyam Computer Service Limited was formed in 1987 in Hyderabad by Mr. Ramlingan Raju. About the Satyam scandal, Satyam Computers announced of buying stake in two companies, which was Mehta's Properties and Mehta's Infra, which was owned by the chairman Ramlingan Raju's sons and family members. But the $1.6 billion deal is aborted later due to revolt by investors and shareholders who opposed the takeover. Mr. Raju faked the figure of non existent cash and bank balances and revenues of the company and declared ineligible for and declared ineligible for contract for providing improper benefits to bank staff and for failing to maintaining documentation. He also manipulated the accounts as he understated his liabilities and overstated his debtors. The Satyam scam has turned the spotlight on bank as well as appointed investor, its newly appointed um, auditors verify the company's numerous accounts. The government tried to ascertain how much cash actually exists in Raju's account. Uh, these all were done with the purpose of attracting more investors and for roaming over competitors. The main aim for conducting the fraud was to arrange the money for real estate investment and to divert companies' fund into real estate investments. The gap in the balance sheet reached unmanageable proportions as company operations grew insignificantly. Raju explained every attempt to eliminate the gap failed, and the aborted Mehta's acquisition deal was a last attempt to fill the fictitious assets with the real ones. On January 7, 2009, Mr. Raju admitted that he did the India's biggest scam and resigned from the company as well. Now, my colleague Yogesh will continue from the next slide. Over to you, Yogesh.
Thank you, Palak. In this slide, I am going to discuss about the letter which was written by Ramalingan Raju to the Board of Directors of Satyam Computer Private Limited that informed that he outstated the cash and bank balance of Satyam by 5,040 crores and uncovered India's biggest fraud till date. In the letter, Raju says that he sold non-existence of 376 crore property, and he confessed because he did not have any option left with his. Uh, he would confess the government body should have if directed if it in order to get relaxation from the government or from the government or from the law. He accepted that he did fraud, and uh, since he would protect Satyam as well, and probably he saved the Satyam an unmanageable position. As the Satyam operation increases, the gap of fake and real figure it become large amount. The gap of balance sheet has arisen purely amount inflated profit over a period of last several years. What stated in the marginal gap between operating profit and the one reflected in the books of account to grow over the year, it attended unmanageable proportion as the size of operational grow. and cancellation of acquisition as he was planning to buy 51% share of Meta's infrastructure and 100% share of Meta's property Meta's property to fill the gap between the fake and the real figure which is in the balance sheet because the Myntra infrastructure and Mythra's property are the company of Raju family member, and the plan was to inflate the cash and bank balance. All accounts would have been settled if deal was successful, but it got cancelled. And manipulation leads to scam. It started in 1999 when they showed double-digit growth at the particular time. He would have manipulated a small amount as the time passes. What actually happened? The gap between the book profit and actual profit increases since the manipulated and sales invoices and create the bogus receipts every year. And he confessed that neither he nor director holds any share in last 8 years, and in last 2 years the net amount of 1,230 crore was arranged to Satyam to keep the operation going on. As the promoter holds small percent of equity, concern was that poor performance would result in takeover, thereby exposing the gap. Even every attempt made eliminated the gap which was made, and the deal got cancelled. If this made that it like to riding the tiger, not knowing how to get rid of without being eaten. And the next slide will discuss by Yash Khan. Over to you, Yash Khan.
Thank you, Yogesh. Good morning, sir. Now, further, I will discuss about the who's the culprits. Now, the first culprit is PwC, known as Price Waterhouse Coopers. They audit Satyam books from June 2000 until the discovery of the fraud in 2009. They were criticized very heavily for not detecting the fraud. Since PwC one who signed the financial statement, the Indian law held them responsible for this and taking everything as granted and not getting suspicious about it. Now, the second culprit was CEO. CEO were the one of the main culprit for this fraud, like Mr. Ramalingan Raju, who keeps on multi manipulating the balance sheet and income statement for years. He keeps on creating fictitious sources to earn more income to meet analyst estimates, and he did it numerous number of times. Now the third one is board members, the independent board members who were unaware of the things which were going inside the Satyam, since they hold a very should have been aware of the fraud which CFO upon all the financial things
आपकी आवाज बेटा थोड़ी रुक रुक करके आ
to
रही
find
है.
out about the unreal. Yes, sir.
आपकी आवाज में लैगिंग है.
So now it's clear.
Now it is clear.
Okay, so thank you. Now the fourth is CFO, whose role was to look upon all the financial things. They did not even try to find out about the unreal and its fictitious statements, which Mr. Raju keeps on showing to him, even after getting suspicious about it. Now, the fifth and the last culprit is auditors of the company. The auditors of Satyam was PwC, and I had already explained about their investment in this. One more thing which is to be noticed, that PwC get paid twice the amount by Satyams as compared to the other firms. One question which raised a solid point is that PwC had audited Satyam for 9 years, and in this 9 years, they once did not suspicious about this mischievous activities of this film. Thank you. Now, my friend Sushmita further tell you about uh, the scandals was done. How the scandals was done. Thank you. Over to you, Sushmita.
Thank you, Yashkan. Now, further, I will be telling you about how this scandal was done. So, first is the cash and the bank balances. The inflated cash and the bank balances of rupees 5040 crore was reflected in the books of accounts. He faked figures to the extent of rupees 5040 crore of non-existent cash and bank balances as against rupees 5361 crore in the books. Second, accrued interest of rupees 376 crore, of which were non-existent. Their actual profit of accrued interest was nil, and he reported 376.5 crore. Third is understated liability of rupees 1230 crore of on account of fund raised by Raju. This profit was raised by Raju himself, with a total difference between the actual and the reported profit of rupees 1230 crore. Now, the fourth is overstated debtors. The overstated debtors position of rupees 490 crore. The actual profit was rupees 2161 crore, and he reported 2651 crore. So here also the difference of rupees 1230 crore was reported. Um, he accept fifth is revenues and operating profits. He accepted Satyam had reported revenue of rupees 2700 crore and an operating margin of rupees 649. Now, Mr. Ramalinga Raju would make us believe that all he did was wrong, but was to get caught up in the corporate race. Raju began inflating both revenue and profit figures to meet market expectations. In a letter released on 7 January 2009, he admitted to non-existent cash balances, fake interest proceeds, and grossly overstated revenues that totaled up to $1.4 billion, amongst other things. In this also, he reported a real operating margin of 3%. He also admitted to inflating the cash and the bank balances of the company by rupees 5040 crore. The company was at rupees 8795 crore. Of these, cash and the bank balances stood up at rupees 5313 crore, which was nearly 60% of the total assets. This was overstated by rupees 5040 crore. The company had basically the cash and the bank balances of rupees 300 crore. So this was mainly done to hide the irregularities in the books of accounts. Now, further, my friend Divyanshi will tell you about the aftermath of the Satyam scandal. Over to you, Divyanshi.
Thank you, Shushmita. So here I am covering aftermath of Satyam scandal. First is termination and suspension. 9 years after shenanigans, Satyam came to light. SEBI has found PricewaterhouseCoopers and its network firm guilty. The firm and its network entities have been barred from issuing audit certificates to any listed companies. Credit Suisse suspended its coverage of Satyam. Merrill Lynch also tried to disassociate itself within an hour after announcement of the fraud and terminated its engagement with Satyam. Awards won by Satyam were stripped from them. In 2008, Satyam was the winner of coveted Golden Peacock Award for corporate governance, which was stripped from them after the scandal. And criminal charges. The founder of Satyam, Mr. Raju Ramalingam, was arrested and charged with several offenses, including criminal conspiracy, breach of trust, and forgery. And next, new board of directors appointed. Immediately after Raju revelation about accounting fraud, new board members and board of directors were appointed. They started working toward the solution that would prevent the total collapse of the firm. Fall from grace. Before the scandal, its share prices was rupees 544 in October 2008, and just after the scandal, the share price fell to rupees 11.50 on January 10, 2009, their lowest level since March 1998. Before the scandal, Satyam was the fourth ranked among IT companies in India. And after the scandal, it becomes least valuable company in India. This was the difficult phase for investors, employees, clients, bankers, and even Indian government. Thank you from my. That's all from my side. Now I would like to call Raghav for further explanation.
Thank you, Divyanshi. So now let's see how Satyam Computers and Tech Mahindra get merged together. So after the confession of Mr. Raju, which my teammate have already explained, a big chaos started happening in the firm. The reputation of the firm was declining very fastly, and everything started falling. So to control it, new board members were appointed immediately so that they can work together towards a solution that would help Satyam from a total collapse. An immediate investigation was started by the government of India for Satyam, but at the same time, the government, they put a limit in the direct participation for the Satyam, because the government don't want to appear as the fraudster who is responsible for this fraud in the eyes of the people. So new of directors were appointed by the government of Satyam, by the government of India for Satyam, uh, to try to save it. They set a goal for themselves that they want to sell Satyam uh, in 100 days. The new board met with bankers, accountants, lawyers, and government officials immediately to devise the plan of sale. So to accomplish the sale, board hire Goldman Sachs and Avendus Capital, and then they charged them with selling the company in the shortest period of time. So for that, an auction was established in mid-March for Satyam. At that time, many IT companies, which were major players in the IT field, have already gained enough confidence in Satyam operation, and they also decided to participate in the auction process for the Satyam. SEBI appointed a retired Supreme Court Justice, Justice Brachua, to look upon the process and transitions uh, of the auction. After many bids on Satyam, Tech Mahindra finally brought Satyam for $1.13 per share on 13th April 2009, which was even less than the third of its stock market value before Mr. Raju revealed the fraud. Finally, on 16th April 2009, Tech Mahindra purchased 51% share of Satyam, and sooner Satyam stock gained stability under Tech Mahindra and once again started towards working its bright future. Thank you. And now my friend uh, Lata will continue on this.
So here we are with the corporate governance issues at the Satyam. So let us know what the meaning of corporate governance first. Corporate governance is the collection of mechanism, process, and relations used by various parties to operate and to control an organization. Board of Directors. Board of Directors are responsible for corporate governance at an organization. But here in Satyam, we can see that the Board of Directors, which mainly comprise of independent directors, failed to recognize the scam which was being done at the organization. Shareholders. Satyam has been an example of poor corporate governance practices, and it has failed to show good relations with the stakeholders and the employees. In fact, the stakeholders did not even get the opportunity to put their consents prior to the Mata's deal. Accounting and auditing standards. Accounting standards specify how the transactions and other events are to be recognized, measured, and presented, disclosed in the financial statements. Auditing standards are set of systematic guidelines used by the auditors when auditing a company's financial statements. Basically, Mr. Raju has been manipulating the accounts over the years by recording fake cash and bank balances and presenting the manipulating financial position of the company to its stakeholders. And the auditors also failed to maintain the auditing standards, as the auditors have failed to check the various aspects of financial statements. They did not recognize they did not recheck the bank balances which were being provided by the company. There was no sampling of invoices done, and the tax liability wasn't reported. All these factors have led to the negotiation of duties of the company towards its shareholders and made the case an example of negligence of fiduciary duty, ethical standards, and lack of corporate social responsibility. Please change the slide. So the conclusion. So the question arises, why the company reached such a position? Greed overshadowing fierce competition and the need to impress the stakeholders, especially shareholders, investors, and the stock market are some factors that led the company in such a position. Most scandals like Satyam can be avoided if the auditing firms are honest and the SEBI plays an active role in the exchange of security and there is transparency within the organization. That's all from our side. Thank you.